Welcome everybody to the first post-game video of Ico. In this video, I will be showing off a bunch of odds and ends that I did not see fit to show off in the course of the main playthrough, and also a few extras. First up, we have the idle video for when you don't do anything on the title screen for about a minute. So now we come to some of the miscellaneous odds and ends that are present throughout the game that I did not feel it was appropriate to show off during the main playthrough. First up, in this first fight, the very first shadow, before you pick up the stick, it is actually possible to fight using your horns. All attacks you must initiate while running. Stationary attacks don't really do anything. These attacks do almost no damage. It takes darn near forever to take out a shadow like this, and it's far easier for them to block you than if you are using a proper weapon. It does actually have two advantages though. The first is that for some reason, you're actually able to dodge attacks much easier like this than you would be normally. The second is that even when the shadows sort of hide on the floor by shrinking down, you can still hit them. Next up is what happens if you stand in the blast radius of a bomb. Effectively, very little. From there we move to what happens if you don't make this jump. Well, first of all, you can actually see that there is a definite time limit for this. You can only make the jump so long as Yorda has her hand out for you. As soon as she puts it down, you are out of time. It would actually be pretty cool if you could see the Queen spawn in right now. But I guess since we're not doing the cutscene, it's not going to happen. Instead, we just get this view. Next thing we ask is there anything at the end of this cave? The answer is yes and no. There is that one tiny cutscene, but you cannot interact with anything over here. Can't climb up, can't do anything with those posts, nothing. Only thing to do is swim back. Now, I explained this in the thread, but I wanted to give a visual aid to it just to make sure everybody understands. You may recognize this as being just outside of the second temple after we have activated the gate. Now, if you remember, there were no shadows at any point along the playthrough there. Coming or going, that place was completely empty. Now we've left Yorda alone in that area, and we're going to be just a second. And that music means that she's been grabbed. Now it's hard to see, but there are portals all along this bridge now. This is the unscripted encounter, and this is what happens when Yorda gets captured. And just for a bit of comparison, so now we are back at the very, very end of our initial run. Now, if you stay on this screen for just a moment, you will be given the option to save. Whatever slot you save in will become a Sandy Beach save with that little flag next to the timer. That flag means the file is available for New Game Plus. Now, in order to start New Game Plus, you need only to continue on that slot. New Game Plus starts you over from the very beginning, and there are 4 changes to it. I will show off 2 of them in this video, and 2 of them in the next video. Now the first change, we will start here. First we will go to the pause menu and the options. Another thing that I did not show off in the main run. All of these things, save one, were available from the start. The film effects adds a filter to the screen. Full pixel mode changes the aspect ratio. Hold type changes how you hold Yorda's hand. Hold type A, you must hold down the hold button the entire time, and hold type B allows you to toggle it. Stereoscopic 3D, I am unable to do that, so I can't turn it on to show you. This is the button setup. Just because of muscle memory, I like to remap jump to X. Brightness is brightness. Now here, players is the first New Game Plus feature. If you have a second controller, you can switch it to 2 players, and the second player gets control of Yorda. Now there are a few advantages to playing with a human controlling Yorda. One of them is that you can both climb a ladder at the same time, saving you time. Unfortunately, Yorda keeps her basic movement style, so she is still very slow climbing ladders. She is slower than Aiko while running, and she still has the movement limitations of needing boosts in hands getting around certain obstacles. Next up, we have a rather familiar scene. The secret weapon. Now here I just wanted to show that yes, you can hold an item and a weapon and Yorda's hand at the same time. Now, one of the things about 2-player is that holding Yorda's hand disables the other player's control. They cannot break the handhold and they cannot move. Also, Yorda's controls are a bit floaty. She is very slow to accelerate and decelerate, and she turns a bit wider than Aiko does. Now, I said in the main run that there is an easier way to get the weapon here, and that is you set the ball just so. You must be very careful where you place it, because if you place it in the wrong place, the ball will actually glitch inside of the cup, but if you do it just right, you get that. And here is our second New Game Plus change, the Laser Sword. We'll get to the Laser Sword specifics in a moment, but a little more about Yorda. When controlled by a player, as usual, Yorda is unable to throw herself off of cliffs, hang down off of ledges, fall and die, or anything like that. She does have her full range of normal motion. Now, Yorda is unable to open doors without Eiko being present. And here, just to show it, Yorda cannot make long jumps without help, same as always. Now, for the Laser Sword. The Laser Sword is quite powerful. It's a bit random as to which it is, but it kills every shadow in either 1 or 2 hits. But the rather ferocious thing about it is its size. You saw earlier that it was quite small, but when you hold Yorda's hand, it becomes frankly obscenely large. The sheer size of the blade combined with Eiko's wide swings means that this weapon can clear entire rooms amazingly fast. Unfortunately, you get it so late in the game that there's not even 10 fights to use it in. But nonetheless, it's amazing how quickly things go once you get a hold of it. Now, like the mace, the sword does show up in cutscenes. Unfortunately, there are no cutscenes by the time that you get it in which you are holding Yorda's hand, so you can't ever see it get huge. But it definitely is capable of changing size in the cutscenes. So if some intrepid ROM hacker would like to make it so you can get it early, I'm sure that'd be interesting to watch. Seriously, this thing is enormous. And that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Please join me next time for the second post-game video in which I show off the other 2 New Game Plus changes.